Alright, so we're going to do a smoke test. We're going to do several scenarios in the cube, trying to introduce a little bit of smoke and see how it reacts. So right now we're just going to get a baseline with the face off in these dialos, taking just regular background measurements. Alright, now that we have a background in the dialos and I took a measurement with a fluke particle counter, we're going to start making some smoke. Okay, so we have smoke. We'll see if it's getting in the box. I will put a fan on and try to suck the smoke in. If the breeze, there's not really a breeze, but there's enough where it doesn't look like the smoke is getting in the box. Alright, so we already have some fascinating observations here. So in the beginning there, when I started the smoke, it clearly really wasn't getting in the box as far as visually, and I couldn't see anything on the dialos monitors that have the real-time reading on there. So this is no signal here during that time. That video was shot at 11:22. So here there seems to be nothing going on, but if you look at the fluke data, here we have from 11:25, we see that this 0.3 micrometer counter of the fluke, the bin, is picking up particles and has been probably for a while. Now, of interest to note, the 0.5 micrometer, a little bit of a signal. So let's go back here, and this is the particle counting of the beta dialos. So to give you two bins, and it's count per cubic foot of how many particles over 0.5 and over 2.5 is the orange. So we see the majority, as we look through the entirety of the experiment, the vast majority of particles detected are over 0.5. So what does that tell you? Well, it can't see, or it says it doesn't see 0.3. So it's not surprising, and I kind of did an illustration here. So here we are, and this is the 0.3 hits on the fluke, and it's already been going off before we get anything registered on the dialos PM2.5, PM10 meter. And so there's more to investigate, but this is a fascinating start. All right, we finally got some smoke going, and I got the fluke going. Again, it doesn't look like it's getting into the box. There's a pretty good breeze if you actually look.
Come on, come and say good day. I'll slip an extra shrimp on the barbie for you.
Well, I've got the fan on, blowing up and out. I'm going to try to suck smoke into the box. All right, I've changed the location of the box. Okay. We should be seeing something, perhaps. I'm going to run it. This is going to be the third fluke sample, the twice. This is going to be one with the fan running. I'm going to have to try to make more smoke here. All right, it's 11:29. Smoke should be getting in the box here. Yeah, we're starting to see the dialos go up a little bit. All right, we're going to run another fluke. Okay, so at this point in the video, we are, as far as the dialoses are concerned, we are over here where there isn't much signal. But for the fluke, we have, so this was the 0 that I did. This was the background. So the third measurement was here, and the fourth measurement was here. So you see that the 0.3 micrometer bin. We had already gotten a hit on there, and those much smaller particles, ultrafine, were getting into the box. And you see here at this time there's not a lot of the 0.5 micrometer, which explains why the dilose and the greater than 0.5 and greater than 2.5 are not registering anything, although you can start to see a little bit of slight readings there. Okay, so I want to point out, this might not be obvious, is I turned the cube over to this side. I saw the smoke was blowing sideways, so at first the box was here, and I saw a lot of smoke going this way. So I shifted the box over here so it'd be kind of more collecting that smoke. I don't think that's obvious, so I want to make sure I point that out.
Smoke is hot and small, so it naturally wants to go up, up, up. We're really not getting much in the box at all. Oh, well, back here, actually seeing quite a bit, I think. That's interesting.
Okay, so I'll just quickly point out that video where the one in the back was ticking up a bit was at 11:31, and so this is what we see here, this little blue bump. That's the back, and that's the small signal that I saw. For some reason, the back one was registering compared to the front one. So that's what we're talking about. That's where we're at right here. And we're about to get more smoke intrusion to start getting this signal, or should I say more bigger smoke particles to start to get this signal here on the dilose PM 2.5. This video is brought to you by this public service announcement. So I just wanted to give props to, I work at Parkland Hospital in Dallas, and give a shout out to Parkland. So they have a world-class burn unit. In 1961, Parkland opens one of the largest civilian burn units in the U.S. AI says established in 1962. Well, boy, AI is just terrible at this. But it is a renowned center. It's the only adult and pediatric burn center in the region, verified by the American Burn Association. Cares for a lot of patients. It's known for developing pioneering burn therapies that have been adopted nationwide. And it does a lot of great stuff. And I've been told that most burn units are at county safety net hospitals because it's a money thing. I think it's hard to make, for private hospitals to make money off of burn units. So it's also a good public service, and it's a great thing to have. I'm glad I work there, and I'm glad this area has a burn unit that's so well regarded for anyone who unfortunately has to visit there.
Now it's blowing into the garage. Oh, we finally got something in here. So let me run the fluke now. Yep, we're finally getting infiltration. All right, I got my Sam Houston State fan here. I'm going to start making more smoke. I learned this from my African wife, how she grills. All right, now we're really getting a good amount here. So let me run the fluke again. Now we're cooking. I'm going to pull the grill back a bit now, since we are flying high. 5,000 back there. So,
Okay, so this is here. I took those two kind of back-to-back fluke readings. We see the first one there, we've got a good amount of 0.3, and we see that the 0.5 micrometer particles are now starting to accumulate in the cube. And so that means that here we have the beginning of the dialos. We see a major jump up. We see the dialos being able to see the smoke. And I wonder, I have not a theory, but I wonder if, so the fluke was detecting 0.3 micrometer well before this, and you probably can't see that, right? So that's like particles from the grill that we couldn't see that were getting in the cube. And as you can see in the video, now we've got a very visible smoke cloud, and it's now getting into the cube. And maybe that visible smoke is the larger particles, 0.5 micrometer and higher. And so the dials can see it, and we can see it. Just a thought.
okay, it's 11:37. I've turned the fan now the other way. Now it's blowing into the box. We'll see what happens there. I'm interested to see if that will kind of keep the smoke out. All right, so I am stirring up the smoke here. And having the fan blowing, I don't know. Might be protecting the box. There's definitely a lot of smoke here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quick flip it the other way. And now we'll see what happens. Yeah, I see it going up. Starting to go up again. Let me flip it back the other way now. Now it's going to go down again. We'll see what happens. Keep the smoke going here.
So Ferez Cube stands for fun, and I think it's really fun to kind of explore and probe at these different like situations. One thing is I kind of neglected to run the fluke after a while, especially when I was changing the fans back and forth, and this because it's not completely planned out, just kind of exploring. So that's the fun part of it. But I just want to highlight the sigma. The Z stands for sigma, and it's really powerful. These low-cost sensors can give you the ability to detect changes. And so we see here on the graph this up and down, up and down. So clearly changing the fan direction going into the box, or pushing air out of the box or sucking air into the box made a difference with the smoke. And you can also see here the green sensor, the proto, was in the front of the box, and I kind of made a part of a wall on purpose, if you look in the video, just to kind of emulate maybe a little bit of a building where the smoke has to travel through it and there's obstacles. So even though I don't have the sensors completely synced up time-wise, but there's enough difference here in time, so clearly you can see that the smoke first hits the sensor in the front, which is pretty obvious, and then later on hits the beta. But you can see here, and I'm going to quick show a last video after this. There was kind of a lull here, right, where I had the fan protecting the box, and then you'll see in the video I flip the fan the other way. And so that's the point in time here where you start to see the sensors climb again. So this is very successful. You could take what you learn here and design a better, I don't want to say experiment, but design a better situation where you can demonstrate maybe certain things about how the sensors read the smoke, and even how smoke gets into or out of a building. I know right now we're doing a lot thinking about wildfire smoke preparation and the whole idea of you want to make sure you don't lose positive pressure in a building in that situation. So I think the fan switching kind of highlights that. So this is maybe my favorite demonstration so far with the Ferez cube. This was a lot of fun with the smoke, and so maybe we'll see more of this.
Okay, so it was kind of holding steady there, and now it's dropped again. So just to show again, I'm going to turn the fan to blowing out, so blowing up. And we'll see what happens here. So now we'll see how much it goes up. Yeah, so it's been climbing steady. It's going to get into 1,000. So I think it's fair to say that the fan on this box makes a big difference.
Come on. Come and say good day. I'll slip an extra shrimp on the barbie for you.